Hi YouTube, Mochismo Eugene, another video from Exit Strategy. Welcome. Alright, let's talk about how life and struggles are for the narcissist as opposed to the empath. Life and all of its struggles for you and I is much different than it is for a narcissist. And what I mean in particular is how you and I wake up every day, whether we're optimistic about the day or not. We wake up with a sense of purpose. There may be days that go by. There may be times in our life when we may wake up and we may not feel our very best. We may not be as optimistic. We may not put our best foot forward on any given day. We may not see the worth in a lot of the things that we are doing. We may not see the light at the end of the tunnel. But the difference in you and I, in empaths, for example, as opposed to a narcissist, and especially chosen ones, life is much different than it is for that narcissist. We have somehow been able to navigate and manage these ups and downs that we are faced with on a constant. We are able to channel our strengths and persevere. We're able to change and evolve. We're able to stay consistent a lot of the time, most of the time. We may have our struggles here and there, setbacks, discouragements, disappointments, all of that. Just as the narcissist has these disappointments as well. All human beings are faced with this. But the tenacity of an empath, chosen one, as opposed to a narcissist, is night and day. The narcissist wakes up with an agenda. They go to sleep with an agenda. You have the books called agenda books. This is how you jot down, map out how you're going to do any given specific thing in your life. That's an agenda book. The agenda the narcissist goes to sleep with and the agenda the narcissist wakes up with is for selfish, sordid, sadistic, evil gain. There is nothing they go to sleep with that is harmonizing. There's nothing they go to sleep and lay their head on the pillow with serenity and the peacefulness of sleep. They are constantly being bombarded with thoughts, dreams, nightmares, voices of torment. They are constantly being belittled, torn down, beat down, discouraged, insulted, because these are the thoughts that come back to haunt them throughout their life. As much as they've ran away from that true self, which was very vital in their development of being a genuine human being, they deserted that. And by deserting that and not being able to form a healthy sense of self, they are left with the only thing and the very thing that brought them to where they are. The abuse, the torment, the discouragement, the demeaning comments, the record player in their head of who or what tormented them from childhood, that is the very thing they are tormented by throughout their life. Now, in order to ward off these voices and these thoughts that are generally driving them nuts, they have to do two things. They have to drown them out by pretending in front of people, not alone, because when they're alone and they don't have an audience, they are left with self. That's why they can't spend a whole bunch of time by themselves. When they go in isolation, or there's times when they may have a narcissistic injury by way of not getting something from an individual or some situation that didn't work out for them, it sometimes cripples them. And this is where you see them start to disintegrate, decompose, and wither in the absence of other people. Now, that's why they have to continue to keep wood on the fire, if you will. They have to continually keep mass amounts of people and things and activities going in their day-to-day life. Take, for example, you may have an individual, they are a go-getter. They are all over the place, and they are seemingly getting it done. And you're saying to yourself, empath chosen one, wow, it's admirable almost. But the ambition you're looking at very well could be, and most often is, narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder. The drive and desire that this individual has is unquenchable. You'll see that they have their hands in everything, but you will never ever see them show any other emotion but that drive. So it's easy to be convinced that, wow, this person doesn't have time to be down. This person doesn't have time to let anything bother them. But what you don't understand is, generally speaking, this is what we denounce as possibly a person who's disordered, and their very existence is dependent on that drive, is dependent on that go, 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 go. Because if they stop and sit still long enough, you will see that they will disintegrate. Their whole demeanor, their whole countenance will change. If they're sitting in a corner for an extended amount of time, you will see them almost seem like they're going into this out-of-body experience where their whole expression tells you. It may look like they're probably sad, and then you look at them another second, you almost assume they're talking to themselves without moving their lips. They look like they're in deep thought and having a conversation with themselves, because most often they are. This is when the voices are tormenting them. And in order to ward these voices off, they have to constantly keep moving. Now, empath and chosen ones, we relish that time in isolation. You see the difference? The time we spend alone actually helps us. It's a healing thing for us. It's a harmful thing for a narcissist to spend time alone. The only time that I believe that they can truly spend a small amount of time alone is when they're on the run and they're hiding out from a situation that they've gotten caught in or caught up in. If they've been exposed, for example, as being narcissist, and they know that that person who has exposed them has influence and has a certain amount of leverage, they fret. And this is one of few times that they will go into isolation. And even then it's torture, because you're forcing them to be in isolation against their will, if you will. They don't have time to take time out by themselves. There's no time out for a narcissist. And you wonder why these people have or these entities have so much energy. It's not that they have so much energy. It is very vital to their survival. It is what continually keeps their heart beating and their blood flowing. Is that adrenaline rush to be around other people. They have to constantly keep things and people around them. This is their medication, you. You are their sedation. When you go to the hospital or you see some people and they're in a traumatic situation and they get taken to the hospital, they sedate them. They introduce intravenous medications into their bloodstream to calm their asses down. Either for sake that they don't go into shock, to prevent them from going into shock, and to prevent them from being combative, to prevent that patient from actually going into cardiac arrest because their heart's beating so fast. So this is how you sedate somebody. You sedate them, and to the point where you put them in a state of comfort. So you're better able to tolerate them or deal with them, handle them, to be able to administer the proper care to them. So this intravenous medication is almost like an invisible straitjacket, invisible strapping them down, because it mellows them out. Empaths and chosen ones, we don't need people around us to sedate us. We're at our best when no one else is around. We can deal with people. We're excited and happy when we're around people, but most often we're happy as much as they are happy. We're happy to be a benefit to them. We're happy to be a contributor to that atmosphere. We love harmony. We love harmonious interactions. The narcissist likes chaotic interactions. And so that is what I want to talk to you guys about in regards to you handle life and situations way different than the narcissist does. Your ups and downs look a lot different than the narcissist's ups and downs. Their ups and downs are more downs than ups. Without you, they're always on the down. The empaths, our ups and downs are not contingent on whether we have people or things around us. We fret as well because we've been brought up in this 3D matrix of a society. But as we have awakened, myself specifically, there are things that I have long ago known I could do without. And when I awakened in 2020, all the thought patterns that I had prior to awakening, because awakening to the narcissist and narcissistic personality disorder was just one element of what God opened my eyes to. Then he opened my eyes to the matrix and the 3D living of what put us in these compromising situations to be a victim of the narcissist. So God has afforded us multiple things in this awakening to both be aware of what the narcissist is and who they are and the nature of the narcissist. And he's also opened our eyes in a brand new way, whereas we disconnected and are disconnecting wholeheartedly away from all the things that most of this world are gravitating to. and in how they're gravitating to it, God has given us fresh eyes to see that we're chasing the wind. Nothing wrong with taking advantage of some of the things that this world offers us by way of homes, cars, clothes, jewelry, you name it. Fine wine, fine eating, fine places to dine. All of these things God has provided for us to enjoy in this world. But our approach is different than the narcissist. We value things. We value people. Narcissists don't value anything. Their value is in how much one can give them attention unceasingly. And depending on the time you give them will determine how long you last with the narcissist. So guys, your life as opposed to the narcissist, with all the obstacles, all the ups and downs, is very different. So be comforted in knowing that you can introspect, you can reflect, you can rebound, you can continue on with tenacity. And the biggest part is you can grow from the obstacles in which you go through. The more the narcissist goes through obstacles, the more hateful, the more demonic and deprived of mind they become. Until one day, they are just a shell. Grouchy, sad shell. They're nothing but a shell now. But as they get older and age out, they are, it is very destructive looking. It looks like life has destroyed them from the inside out. And I've seen some of the narcissists that I'm referring to in just a few years gone by. I've seen some things happen to them dramatically. It's unfortunate, but that is just life. We have to age out ourselves. Things will change, but the way a narcissist changes due to all the evil and all the wickedness that they have put on other people, it comes back to haunt them. So guys, be encouraged. Until the next video, bless.